Good morning. It's Friday, July 19th, and the pressure is building on Joe Biden. Several of the prominent Democrats have asked him politely to resign, to retire. I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi, and I'm talking about Adam Schiff. And those are two prominent elected Democrats that have publicly requested that Biden drop out of the race. They have told him that according to polls, he cannot win. But Biden insists that he has seen polls that suggest that he is going to win the election. Now, he has said that, and that's according to a source from CNN. And I can tell you from watching Biden in action that he's a stubborn man. He's not giving this job up so easily, even though he has failed miserably in several public appearances recently. And maybe if he sat down with the right cadre of high-ranking Democratic officials, they could come up with a solution. It's not too late, in my mind, to produce a candidate that can really attack and beat Donald Trump. I mean, after all, historically, and I'm going back to like 1972 when they had the last selection of candidates via convention and not with these stupid primaries. I am so against these primaries. It's a waste of time and a waste of money. It's not a job for the public to decide who should be the candidates. It's a job for the party itself. The party who knows what ought to be done or thinks they know what ought to be done. They ought to have the right to select somebody to run in their image, allowing the public through primaries to select the candidates. It's not, in my mind, really produced any great presidents. You know, when you make the presidential candidate some kind of popularity contest, that's not what we need. We need parties that have the best interests of the country at heart, and that they are going to put out somebody who can achieve those interests. Not somebody who is popular, not somebody who is constantly changing his mind, like J.D. Vance. A man who several months ago had nothing good to say about Donald Trump. But here he is, Donald Trump's running mate, extolling Donald Trump. And we don't even know if Donald Trump's going to actually be able to run because of his criminal activities that still might end up in court somehow, in spite of the actions of the Supreme Court. So getting back to Biden, he has to sit down with the party leaders and make a critical decision before the convention. So then he can step up to the plate at the convention and admit that he was stubborn and admit that it would be better if we had this younger person running. Where are the young people in these parties? The Republicans were able to find a young man in J.D. Vance, a young man with relatively little experience. He's only been a senator for a short period of time. He really wasn't much of a politician before that. So I say to the Democratic Party, why can't you find somebody like that? He doesn't have to be like that. He doesn't have to be, or she doesn't have to be 39. And maybe Kamala should run, although she's been invisible for most of her tenure at the vice presidency. And she's done the tasks that were required of her, but I don't know if she has the popularity necessary to win the presidency for the Democrats. Meanwhile, Biden has put the entire party in a hole because he believes honestly that he can win. And he refuses to accept the recognition that at many times over the past couple of years he has not performed well in public. And people remember that. So this election is a critical election in the course of this, where this country is going. So I think it's time that Biden sat down and listened to the other leaders of the party. And I think he should step aside, even though he's done a very good job. He hasn't shown the strength lately to give the country confidence that he can do another 4 years. And that may scare many people, that all of a sudden we would have a vice president, Kamala Harris, taking over. Not that she doesn't deserve it, but people are not going to be happy if that situation occurs. So I leave you with this conundrum, and I hope that Biden comes to his senses before the convention, and then he can make a grand exit and present a winning candidate for the Democratic Party, which is something this country desperately needs. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.